Why do I video? So things don't just appear with Houdini. Good time while she's saying this. You know when people talk? It's in Brain Games. And I thought, hey, this would be a good time to do that. Yeah. Doing black magic, copying, and going, hey, we're selling things like ships hotcakes. Yeah. You won't sell it, so we'll sell it. That's the world. Oh, they're part of the work. So if people were doing that to you, would you stop, slow down? I fucking would. And you could easily speed up again, as you proved before, when it's real. What do you reckon, people? Now this, it's got to get a lot better. Trust me, if you know me and how I work and how I perceive my work, how do I do, Emma? Do I get better, the same, or worse? Better. Alright? So good luck out there, you zombie copycats, in the things you do. Now imagine someone not getting a job because they occasionally have marijuana or they treat themselves with marijuana. Say even that. Here in Australia, they treat themselves with marijuana, illegally or not. You won't be allowed to drive. If you wanted a certain job and you use marijuana, like how Valium gets used and stuff, you'll be treated differently. Because here in Australia, they pick on marijuana. Here in Australia, they'll play all sorts of games to try to get you to get off something instead of being real. As they can't be real here in Australia when it comes to those debates. Sucks, doesn't it? And I've got the whole story, hey people. But we'll see what happens because I have such stories. And so I'm just going to do that. When someone does something, see, when you become a terrorist, you don't have to be a terrorist to have a group and do it to a group. You just got to do these actions that are terrorizing. Right? It's like torture. Right? That's unfair. Right? A terrorist. Besides, just being one of these kind of things, if you assume that they might be bullying and talking about you. Or another one where perhaps you believe, like on the TV, if you think anything's wrong, are they misleading in certain areas? Like, say, comment and 3 years later, you got nothing. When you know you're connecting and you want to. But now you don't because it went so far and you're reporting. You see? But you let me know in comments if I'm doing the wrong steps in today's, what they used to teach me what were right step back in the day. You get it? But anyway, what's today? Don't talk about it. Blackmail. Stuff like that. Be in a bubble. Be in a group. And that is sad, don't you think? And I understand trying to be quiet to get a story, but they've gotten a story ages ago. We've gotten something to talk about and to study and keep going and still able to have that study as you can video record constantly. That's how you capture things and you can keep on studying. You don't need to keep things private unless you want to keep it for yourself or for other reasons that are greedy and not for them. You keep it a secret, don't you? You do such games, such things to manipulate others to do such actions. Hitler was a pro at it. That's what I was just talking about. And others all around the world. Still happens. Cause an illusion. So they can get outcomes. They speak one thing so they can go kill innocent civilians because one of their civilians died. A little bit like that. And then talk about how bad it's getting for them, and yet they're making it bad for themselves because they did the wrong actions in the first place. Huh? And all we can do when whatever actions happen is, if you want to go the good way, is to learn the lesson and then quickly move on. If you don't, then you're not moving on, you're accepting it, you're being lazy, you're doing what they do instead. You know that? Someone's who's on a motorbike. Of course I wouldn't. That's what I am, isn't it, Emma? If I'm going to do something, what do I always say? do it right. And I do. Including when I worked at Arnold's. I asked them how I work differently than the people that work there. Didn't I, Emma? They even said that. And I created a plate in my chest and I got good at my job because I did differences, huh, than other people did. And I did it by myself as they didn't offer these differences. I upgraded my work to make my work easier as I was getting paid contract. So I thought, hey, this is a good part where I can use my noggin and I can put my own pay, which I did with panels and making up my own little things, to make my work easier so I can do more. You get it? And that's what I did, didn't I, Emma? Yeah, got better at it and had some more tools that I end up paying for, right? As we had other issues when it comes to always getting tools and stuff, right? People not believing what could work and what couldn't. That's why I was caught in the end. What was I caught in the end, Emma? The Pumpkin King. But I got fired because I wasn't good at my job. Shocking, eh? Or was it other things that weren't discussed as I tried to discuss that day? But frustration and not right ways of doing things went out of control to get answers. Because I was even confused and talked about what's going on here. You know what? We know. You know when people go, we know what? There's lots of things we know. Right? But we're talking about money and bullying. I might even give you something you might think you know about. I don't care because I talk about things. I go through my judgments. My steps always have a reason, a stupid one or not. Right? But I certainly don't repeat them. Loved you to find a story where, besides I was a kid, in the last 10 years where I repeated something stupid. Right? For no reason. Just repeated it because I want to. Right? I didn't steal off a bad guy because he's an asshole to get to a poor or anything. I just stole from my own greedy self because I wanted to chew on some bubblegum. So I stole bubblegum. You know what I mean? I don't do that kind of thing. I haven't done it for a long time. Because I learn. Pity leaders don't, because then we're allowed to move on in lots of areas. In fact, I learned how to throw it back at what they taught us in a way to do and then tell us it's wrong. Like they tell you to drink alcohol and you're not as dangerous and it's illegal and you can drink it, and then the next day you can drive and you can live your happy low life and we won't attack you as hard as we believe, alcohol is not as bad in our list, obviously, and we'll attack you in another area which is not as bad as that alcohol and allow you to have a worse life. Isn't that shocking? Because it's not on their list. Because the money paid to be off the list. That's a big factor. Because it's too easy for the people to have it, you see? That's how I see it, and that's how I love to debate on it. Why I believe it was held back. So the devil didn't want you to have it. Right? If something's easy to do and create and have, and it's good for everybody in many different ways, do you believe the devil would want you to have that? Or could the devil make a lot of money? Right? It's a little bit like the fuel thing. How they go, we've got all these resources, we've got it here. You can hide the dude that had the water. Have you ever seen that show where a guy made the engine that ran off water and he took it to the car company and they killed him because they can use that later, right? And they want to just do what they do now and still make money, and then when that's over, then they'll use that. They don't care about the health. They just care about money. It's money thing. It's business. And that's sad because they're doing these businesses in areas they shouldn't. Right, babies? And so we have a world full of mental issues, and we'll have to start chucking up what we need because of these issues. And so you'll start to see more ads of, you better get a psychologist, as we're not in a very good world. But hey, right now your leader will say everything is great. Isn't that odd? Isn't that odd? I would call that return to sender times 10, wouldn't you? There's no going crazy. There's just more someone yelling at someone, but then they want them to shut up after asking a question that they all want to solve. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, I'm going to leave it there, everybody. Have a good one. I think I've had enough of this. I've done plenty of this, as I was just talking about earlier. But I just thought this might be another one for the latecomers to help catch up. That's why sometimes you can always do something better, definitely if you're bored, right? And give the catch-up moment in the now of certain thoughts. 10 times 10, and have a good one. We're nearly 10 minutes too.